Good morning again. So I just wanted to share with you this thing that I'm using a lot to trade the euro, whatever you trade it, whichever pair you use. So this is my euro index that I built, and that's something I teach. So we have on this chart, you see the big wedge here, and we have this inside wedge, which is the one I'm looking at now. What else we have is those max volume blocks that I have draw here and the max POC. So it's very interesting to look at them because we see how strong they are on even the very long term, 10 years ago or whatever. So that's the first thing. The second thing I have on this chart, I have three more things, which is this big here, this big swing fib, and I have that big ABC on the upside that I'm looking at and that we have been following for a long time. And then I have another inside daily ABC. So we will go through all that now. So this is the big wedge and this is the blocks. So first of all, concerning those blocks, even if um, we can put that lighter just not to have it in the middle here. Okay. So if we keep this wedge is the wedge from 2007 to now. We had a phase breakout here, and this phase breakout went right to the peak to this maximum volume block. So now we are arriving again to another volume block and then the 38 to fib. But we see how those things are very, very important. So what happened is if we look at the price action, we had a big impulsive move here. We broke through that. It's a weekly chart, huh? So we must keep that in mind. So we had this impulsive move, which was 2 weeks ago, okay, in end of January, beginning of February, when we had the impulsive move up on the Euro USD. Then we had a red week, and now we are seeing or trying to see a continuation. So usually we know that those big green candles, they lead to continuation. So what will happen, in my opinion now, is we are going to break this next volume block here. And in that case, the very important time will be when we will break through this max POC of the index. This is the Euro index. It's not Euro USD, it's Euro index. So when we will break here, that will tell us we can see a much bigger continuation, or we can see a nice continuation on the upside. So now, if I look at my first, the big ABC long term, this one is pointing here, 61.8 is pointing here. We already touched it. You see, we touched the 61.8. We came back here to the 236, even a little bit lower inside that volume block, and then we bounced from it. We came back to the 38 to the pit, come back again to the 236 and bounce from it. So that's very important information. Could tell us, my reading here is the 236 is telling us we will see a follow through. So if we broke first the 61.8, I mean, if we touch first the 61.8, you see on this spike here, it was on the COVID move, we went up to the 78.6. One detail just to see how that's incredible, those ABCs. Look how perfectly we tagged the 78.6 at this time, when nobody knew where was the top of that euro move. And we had it here to the pip. I had not built this index at that time, but that's something very important, and that's something I'm using and teaching, of course. So now we are inside here. This respect of the 236 years telling us we will see a continuation. We will see the 61.8 again, in my opinion, breaking this big wedge. So this big wedge can be broken here. If we use, I'm not a big fan of all those things, but I look at everything that can be interesting for me. If we look at the projection, if we consider we could break it in this area, this projection is nearly sending us to the 272 extension here. The value means nothing. So that's 200, blah, 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 means nothing. But it just means it's a big move that is coming. Mostly, if you take the Euro USD, you can take the same move we had on the COVID move from February 2020 to this top here in March 2020. So it's a big move we had here. You can project it here on the breakpoint and consider that that can be the target. So it's another confirmation of what I'm looking at. Now let's go back inside it. So as I said, this tells us we should see a continuation. We had this big, nice green candle, then the red candle of correction. We went to the 236. We are bouncing from it. We had here a very important level with the 38.2 together with the max POC. And then once we broke here, we will probably struggle a little bit in that area. That's what I think will happen. We will struggle inside here and then break this this wedge. So to go a little bit more in detail, I have taken this daily ABC. You can see that daily ABC there. So that's what I'm taking to go a little bit more inside it, to go a little bit more in detail. So now if we look at it on regular candles of that ABC, we see we have that's why I like too that ABC. You see that 38.2, which was here already a good, nice support and resistances. We have here the 50% touch to the PIP. So 61.8 is the first target. 1-to-1 extension is the second target. And then, of course, we can go much further if we still look at what we had here on the big ABC with the 1-to-1 at here at 2067. I repeat those numbers, the value here means nothing. It's just an overall measurement of the euro pairs and the euro, what is doing the euro on the market. So it's my euro index, and that's why I like to look at it. I like it because we have those very important levels that are used on all the instruments using the euro inside, and that's where we are now. So we are here. This 236 is important there. I want to keep that here. We are now on a daily basis. That's today. We broke above it, like we broke on the Euro USD, which I explained in the video this morning. We are now running for the first target I have called on the Euro USD. So a break here, which I would like to see, then come back to this max volume block, and then we can see a continuation. So all that is giving us more confirmation, I would say, of what I'm looking at. And of course, the next big time will be here when we will come back to this 38.2 ABC plus together with the max POC. Break here, touch back, and then we fly.